Architecture. This is the architectural diagram of Java. We are starting from source code. Source code files are saved as .java file. This is a Java program structure. There can be sections, documentation section to improve readability of the program code, package statement to organize the program code, import statement to add packages to program code, interface statement to implement multiple inheritance, class definition to define the class in program, class with main methods, those are package classes, public classes with main method. Class with main method is generally essential in source code. This is a sample source code. We save this source code as hello world.java file. Java compiler. The JavaC tool reads class and interface definitions written in the Java programming language and compiles them into Byte Code class files. It can also process annotations in Java source files and classes. Here you can see a.java source file which has two classes. Then the Java compiler translates the Java source code into Byte code and create a separate class file with .class extension for each class to save the generated byte code. Here you can see two class files are created named a.class and b.class. For example, JavaC hello world.java command can be used to compile a single Java source file named hello world.java. As an example for error, you can see class names hello world app are only accepted if annotation processing is explicitly requested. If you receive this error, you forgot to include the .java suffix when compiling the program. Remember, the Java command is javac hello world app.java, not javac hello world app. So Java Byte Code. Java Byte Code is the instruction set of Java virtual machine. Here you can see same bytes code sign .class files, and same byte code is used by a JVM in Windows to generate machine code for Windows, and same byte code is can be used in a JVM in Linux to generate machine coding for Linux, and same byte code can be used in JVM in MachineToF to generate machine code for MachineToF. This is the byte code for this method. We can see the method signature for main method, a descriptor that indicates the method takes an array of strings and has a void return type, a set of flags follows that describe the method as public and static. The most important part is code attribute, which contains the instruction for the method along with the information such as maximum depth of the operand stack, 2 in this case, and the number of local variables allocated in the frame for this method, 4 in this case. All local variables are referenced in the above instructions except the first one at index 0, which hold the reference to the args argument. The other 3 local variables correspond to variable A, B and C in the source code. iconst 1 push the integer constant 1 into the operand stack. istore1 pop the top operand and int value and store it in the local variable at index 1, which correspond to variable A. iconst2 push the integer constant 2 into the operand stack. istore2 pop the top operand int value and store it in a local variable at index 2, which corresponds to variable B. iload1 load the int value from the local variable at index 1 and push it into the operand stack. iload2 load the int value from the local variable at index 1 and push it into the operand stack. iadd pop the top 2 int values from operand stack, add them and push the result back into the operand stack. istore3 pop the top operand int value and store it in the local variable at index 3, which corresponds to variable C. Return from the void method. Java virtual machine, a virtual machine that enables a computer to run Java programs as well as programs written in other languages that are also compiled to Java byte code. The JVM is detailed by a specification that formally describes what is required in a JVM implementation. Having a specification ensures interoperability of Java programs across different implementation so that program authors using the Java Development Kit (JDK) need not worry about idiosyncrasies of the underlying hardware platforms. You can see Java JVM Java virtual machine architecture here. You can see class loader subsystem, runtime data areas, execution engine. Also, as an example, we can use Java C hello world. The Java command starts Java application. It does this by starting a Java virtual machine JVM, loading a specified class and calling that class main method. The method must be declared public and static. It must not return any value, and it must accept a string array as a parameter. For a error example, exception in thread main java.lang.no class def found error or hello world app. If you receive this error, Java cannot find your byte code file hello world app.class. And operating system, program that manage computer's resources, especially the allocation of those resources among other programs. Typical resources include central processing unit, computer memory, file storage, input-output devices, and network connections. Management tasks include scheduling resources to avoid conflict and inference between programs, Unlike most programs which complete a task and terminate, an operating system runs indefinitely and terminates only when the computer is turned off. Uh, there are different architectures for operating systems like monolithic operating system, layered operating system, microkernel operating system, and network and distributed operating system. Here very generalized diagram, you can see it here, and here this is the operating system, and Java JVM is running on top of this operating system. Here JVM generally belongs to system software, and it runs runs on top of it's communicate with operating system. For example, we can take for example Microsoft Windows 10. Microsoft Windows 10 is a major release of Windows, release of the Windows NT operating system developed by Microsoft. As an error example, we can take this error message, this error filename.exe system error. This application failed to start because jvm.dll was not found. Reinstalling the application may fix this problem. jvm.dll errors are caused by situations that lead to the removal of corruption of the jvm dll file. In some cases, jvm.dll errors could indicate a registry problem, a virus or malware issue, or even a hardware failure. Thank you for watching this presentation.